This video is sponsored by Nintendo Go Away.
Are you tired of trying to make fan games and having Nintendo breathe down your neck?
Well, with this fine product, you're sure to make that dream Zelda fan movie. Order your Nintendo Go Away today!
Just one look and Nintendo will go running for the hills. Masada and Doug Bowser hate Nintendo Go Away. Nintendo Go Away is recommended by people such as Pocket Pair. Order your Nintendo Go Away today. Yeah.
Greetings, everyone. This is some Shy Guy. When the Snow White movie trailer dropped on the 3rd of December 2024, it quickly became the subject of ridicule and was criticized for everything wrong with live-action Disney. During all of this, the Disney Corporation also wanted to try their hand at turning Rachel Zegler's career into a video game. A video game we'll never get thanks to a lawsuit that grinded everything to a halt. Before the lawsuit even happened, though, Disney had our problems. They had attempted to make the game using Unreal Engine, but it was almost as if Unreal Engine just didn't want to cooperate, as it would frequently crash and sometimes would even refuse to save. Almost as if the game engine itself was fighting back, almost as if it didn't want to be used to make this game. Finally fed up, Disney completely ditched Unreal Engine and decided to try Godot. But this backfired, as most people who were hired for the project were only experienced with using the Unreal Engine. After a bit of arguing, most of the people hired for the job just stormed out. Just like that, Disney was almost screwed. But then they had one idea, and that's when they decided on using RPG Maker MZ. That's right, I'm not kidding. They literally used RPG Maker MZ to make this entire game. So what even caused this lawsuit? Well, let's find out. Alright, so already I'm seeing some laziness here. All they did was just use the movie poster as the title screen. To be fair, it may just be a placeholder, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. Anyway, let's get this thing started. Thank you for purchasing Snow White the video game. Before we begin, you must answer one question. Are you a fan of the original film? Yes. Wait, what? We're sorry, but we don't want your kind playing our game. I'm afraid that I can't let you play Snow White the video game. Please get a refund on this game at once and uninstall. Thank you for understanding? What? It's not even letting me select new game anymore. Like, literally, I can't move my controller at all. What's going on? That's right. The game literally punishes you for being a fan of the original movie. Literally, someone was paid to program that in. Fortunately, I was able to hack the game. It took a bit, but I was able to bypass the lockout. There really isn't much to say about this game. Snow White the video game is as basic as games get. You play in a top-down perspective and interact with NPCs that are bare bones. None of them are really helpful, except for the ones that you're supposed to interact with. The first NPC you run into is a bunny that injured his leg while chasing after a barfly. So you have to find a bandage for him, which in return gets your first weapon in the game. While I'm fine with games that are linear, Snow White the video game is the kind of linear that is just boring. Like, really, there's nothing else to do in this game. Like, no kind of side objectives or any sort of collectibles at all. It's obvious that the game is targeted to a younger audience, but that's no excuse to have a game this basic. Another issue is how the game doesn't have an introduction. In older movie-based games like Aladdin on the SNES, the cutscenes between each level told the player what was happening at that point in the story. But in Snow White the video game, the lack of cutscenes make the whole story an absolutely confusing mess. Also, do you remember the part of Snow White where Snow White actually committed theft. When you finally get the hand crossbow, watch Snow White murder an NPC whose only crime was probably hanging out at a bridge. So now that we have a hand crossbow, we can get a taste of what this game's combat system is like. It sucks. It's the kind of combat system that only a gaming journalist would appreciate. Wait. What? What? What the fuck? What was I supposed to do about that? There was literally no way I could have avoided that. I tried to go back and see if I could find something like a shield or any kind of item to help defeat the gunslinger. I couldn't find anything. After spending hours and losing sanity in the process though, I finally figured out what I was supposed to do. I think the game speaks for itself. There's really nothing else to say or add. The game is shit. But to end things off, I actually got into contact with one of the ex-developers of this who will remain anonymous, but they have some things to talk about.
Hello, some shy guy. Thanks for having me on your show. Also, thanks for respecting my privacy. I have a bit to talk about regarding the development of Snow White the video game. As we were working on the game, we questioned our life choices. I know I needed the money, but Snow White the video game still kept me up at night. A majority of the assets aren't even original. They're lifted from other properties. Rachel Zegler is the one who suggested using Hypnotoad. I opposed it, but she said to me, "We can get away with it. We're Disney." One day, I wake up to learn that there was an incident at the workstation. One of the game devs went into a panic attack and shouted, "Why am I doing this? Why is this my life?" Suddenly, he burst into a million bees and terrorized the whole workstation. Injuries occurred, and we faced a serious lawsuit. Wanting to cover up everything, we deleted all traces of Snow White the video game. I now bring this information to the public. Snow White the video game is dangerous.
Call within the next minute and we'll give a special deluxe Nintendo go away that has a gun.